Today's spotlight, the unfolding drama in Georgia's courtroom where former President Donald Trump's legal battles over election interference charges are intensifying. Fulton County District Attorney Fani Willis wrote a letter to House Judiciary Committee Chair Jim Jordan saying nothing that they do will derail her vendetta against Trump, not even her own alleged romantic entanglements, nor threats against her family, her staff, and her. Trump's legal team says that it's all political interference and argues that the Georgia case should be thrown out because of the alleged acts of Trump and others to overturn his loss in the Peach State to former Vice President Joe Biden in the 2020 elections. They were protected by free speech rights. That Trump was exercising his First Amendment right to free speech out of a legitimate concern about the validity of the election when he made those claims of voter fraud in Georgia. They're also filing another motion to disqualify Fani Willis despite the initial ruling that she stay on as long as Special Prosecutor Nathan Wade stepped aside. Trump's attorney Steve Sadow claims in his motion that action did not go far enough and they're asking to appeal the decision. Nonetheless, Donald Trump has already gained a legal victory in the state of Georgia case when Judge Scott McAfee granted him the right to appeal his ruling. Because, see, the appeal, it delays a trial from being scheduled, making it very highly unlikely that it would take place before the election in November. After that, Willis and all these other lawyers are going to find it even harder to make these cases stick if Trump wins the presidency. So stay with me as we unravel the complexities of this case, we explore the legal arguments at play, and we ponder the implications of American democracy. So what does this tell us about government overreach in people's right to free speech? Also, how will this affect the upcoming presidential race? Get ready, guys. We're about to get started. So here's Fox News legal analyst Greg Jarrett explaining all the other investigations Fani Willis is facing. Check it out.
For Willis, now she's going to be, if she stays on the case, which I imagine she would, she's going to have to keep a lower profile. But my sense is her ego won't allow it.
Yeah, it's a great question, Brian. The defense is going to file for a certificate of review. The judge, McAfee, has 10 days to grant it or deny it. This may not be over for Fani Willis. She's also facing at least 3 other investigations into misconduct. And surely there's going to be a bar review as to whether she should be suspended or lose her license. In the other investigation, she could actually be removed from office. I mean, I'll make a prediction here. With all of this coming at her, she may decide, oh, look, I'm going to give it to another prosecutor in the office. I won't actually try the case. Right. Not that she really has the chops to do that. If she thinks that's going to diffuse it, I doubt it will.
Now, I keep reading you guys' comments of how Fani Willis needs to be disbarred for lying to the court and being evasive. That, as an officer of the court, Fani's conduct reflects dishonor and is an embarrassment to the state of Georgia. And seriously, there are some questions that need to be addressed when it comes to the Fulton County DA. For starters, House Judiciary Committee Chair Jim Jordan wonders what's taking Willis so long to produce the documents that she says she will. So Jim Jordan gave her until March 28th to comply with their subpoena from early February for programs that are funded by federal grants. I mean, shouldn't these be documents that should just be at hand? Willis said that her office will make another production in the coming weeks. And then she alluded to Trump's trial, saying that nothing that they do will derail the efforts of her staff and her to bring the election interference prosecution to trial. She even added that her family, her staff, and her have been threatened repeatedly by people making violent, often racist attacks, and that neither those threats nor anything Jordan's colleagues and him say or do will deter Willis's team from fulfilling their duty to bring this case to trial. Trump, though, has broadly denied wrongdoing and has claimed that prosecutors are engaged in a politically motivated witch hunt against him. Now, the question is, how many lives have already been ruined by this old, unethical battle axe? For one, Trump says that his protests against the election results should be protected by free speech rights. Hence, his lawyer Steve Sadow argued that the charges against the presumptive Republican presidential nominee should be just tossed. This is coming from the latest hearing since Fulton County Judge Scott McAfee ruled that Willis could continue to lead the investigation despite her admitted affair with lead prosecutor Nathan Wade, who has since resigned. Sadow said Trump was exercising exercising his First Amendment right to free speech out of a legitimate concern about the validity of the election when he made those claims of voter fraud in Georgia. His lawyer also argued that Trump's alleged false statements, which led to the charges, must be considered in the context of the fact that he was still in office at the time, dealing with elections and campaigning and calling into question what had happened. As Steve Siddall said, that's the height of political speech. According to Trump, this is all part of a political witch hunt to stop him from getting reelected in 2024. That's why his supporters say that the system is corrupt, and we just have to face the fact that it is. But what do you guys think? Now, before we dive even deeper into this whirlwind of legal drama, I just gotta ask a quick favor of you guys. If you're finding this video insightful and you want to stay updated on the Trump-Willis case as it unfolds, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to our channel. It really helps us out and it ensures that you won't miss out on any future crucial updates or analysis. Plus, you get to be part of an amazing community that values deep dives into complex issues that are facing America today. So if you haven't already, definitely hit the notification bell, subscribe, hit the like button. All right, let's get back into it. So another move from Donald Trump's defense team was to file a motion to dismiss and disqualify Fani Willis from the Georgia election fraud case. Steve Siddall, Trump's lead attorney in this case, asked the court to immediately remove Willis even after the judge overseeing the case ruled that she could stay on the case as long as special prosecutor and Willis's former romantic partner, Nathan Wade, stepped aside. So according to Steve Siddall, the action does not go far enough and they're asking to appeal the decision. So now President Donald Trump and 7 defendants have jointly filed a motion requesting the court to grant a certificate of immediate review of its ordering denying dismissal of the case and disqualification of Fulton County DA Fani Willis. Now, according to their statement, the court found that Willis's actions created an appearance of impropriety and an odor of mendacity that lingers in this case, but it nonetheless refused to dismiss the case or even disqualify her. Translation: Judge Scott McAfee said Willis did indeed look inappropriate and there were questions about the truthfulness about their claims about when the relationship started, but still, the judge ruled that Willis could stay on. So the question is, what's up with that? Now, along with the relationship with Wade, which has now ended, Steve Siddall and the attorneys criticized Fani Willis's January speech at Atlanta's Big Bethel AME Church, where she claimed the backlash against her and Wade was racially motivated because they were both black. The defense attorneys claimed Willis's speech crossed the line and was clear evidence their clients will be denied the opportunity for a fundamentally fair trial as long as Willis is involved. Steve Siddall filed a similar motion to this back in January. He filed to have Willis taken off the case, saying that her comments at the church were falsely and intentionally injecting race into the case. And McAfee did bring this up in his ruling. He was also critical of Willis's decision to speak at the church, writing that her comments were legally improper and saying he may have to place a gag order on her in the future, as providing this type of public comment creates dangerous waters for the district attorney to wade further into. Wade, as in Nathan Wade? Yeah, we see what you did there, McAfee. But ultimately, you could see this as a legal win for Trump, as this whole appeals process likely pushes the trial until after the November election. Judge Scott McAfee already granted him the right to appeal the ruling, allowing District Attorney Fani Willis to stay on the case, despite her affair with lead prosecutor Nathan Wade. Now, for a little bit of context, Trump and his 7 co-defendants still wanted to disqualify Willis from the Georgia case, but usually you can't just appeal to do that before a trial even starts, not without McAfee approving it. However, McAfee thought this case was pretty exceptional and allowed the appeal, which is not something that you see every day. Because of the appeal, they can't even set a start date for the trial now, which pretty much means it won't happen before the November election. Now they're in a holding pattern, waiting to see if the appeals court will decide to take a look at their case. Trump's lawyer, Steve Siddall, called McAfee's decision highly significant and added that he's hopeful that the appeal will win. He said that the defense, i.e. Donald Trump's team, is optimistic that appellate review will lead to the case being dismissed and the DA being disqualified. Right now, the trial against Donald Trump and 14 remaining co-defendants has effectively screeched to a halt since co-defendant Mike Roman's lawyer filed those papers in January revealing Willis and Wade's affair and calling for her to be disqualified for alleged improper conduct. After hearing 2 days of testimony last month, including from Willis and from Wade, McAfee found the pair didn't have a conflict of interest in this case, but the mere appearance of wrongdoing meant that one of of them had to step down. Wade resigned from the case the same day. But like I said earlier, lawyers for Trump and others slammed McAfee's ruling, which was highly critical of Willis, claiming it didn't go far enough and the whole prosecutorial team needed to go. Keith Johnson, a Georgia-based defense attorney and former prosecutor, gave his comments about this, saying that McAfee's decision allowing the appeal pre-trial is rare and that until the matter is decided, the case will effectively be at a standstill. As Johnson explained, practically speaking, the trial will not proceed until the Georgia Court of Appeals makes a ruling on Judge McAfee's order to allow District Attorney Fani Willis to remain as a prosecutor on this case. By then, Trump could be the president of the United States again, and this whole case, along with those others, could easily be thrown out. See, this delay introduces a complex layer of political and legal maneuvering that could significantly impact the trajectory and the public perception of these cases. If Trump were to become president again, the federal influence could play a role in how state-level proceedings are viewed or even pursued. Part of those state-level proceedings, this Georgia case from Fani Willis, just goes to show how the fact that they're doing this so close to the election that the legal process are getting bogged down. Not to mention the unique challenges in prosecuting cases involving high-profile political figures. And you can't really get much more high-profile than former President Donald Trump, am I right? These kinds of developments could very well test the resilience and independence of our judicial system. So we definitely need to ask those critical questions about the balance of powers and the ability of the legal system to operate free of political interference. You know what I mean? It's a testament to the times that we live in, where the questions we ask today will shape the landscape for tomorrow. Now, if you found this analysis insightful, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe for more thought-provoking discussions. Your engagement helps us navigate these complex topics and bring more nuanced conversations to the table. Until next time, I'll see you guys on the next one.